Welcome to the Self-Care Show with Deidre Sanford. Although holistic and alternative healing methods are becoming more and more mainstream, what method is right for you? How do you find a practitioner once you've chosen to explore an alternative therapy? Each week, Deidre will explore a different modality with practitioners who will explain their modality and the benefits they and their clients have received through their sessions. She and her guests may also offer live readings during the show. Now, your host of the Self-Care Show, Deidre Sanford.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Wednesday Self-Care Day right here on WLTKDB.com. I am Deidre Sanford, your host for the next hour, and I can't wait to see who all comes flying back into this show and spends time with us this morning. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, whatever you got on hand. Sit back, relax, and let's go for a ride because it's going to be a day. And I can't wait to get started with this. And I know I say that every week, and it's probably sounding a little bit old and trite to everybody. But in all honesty, I really am so excited to be here. I am super thrilled to have Mary Jane Brigger joining me today on this show. But before we get started with my so very special guest, I want to thank all of you for hanging in there with me and coming back to join me this morning. I've been away quite a bit since the start of the new year. And well, frankly, it seems like I've been out of town more than in town. And I've been super, super busy with family. But I'm so happy to be back here this morning. And I'm so very grateful to Christina Bloom, Lori B., and Michelle Henderson as they stepped forward to work with you guys and the guests and their own show, running their own shows here on the Self-Care Show. It's been so incredibly powerful to be able to share all of you with each other. And it's just great to sit back and watch the magic. And especially to the WLTKDB family, as you supported this show and me and this station. I love you all. I love seeing you all tune in, not just to this show, but the other shows as well. When I pop in to catch another show and I see WLTKDB family and friends also joining the show, it's just magic. Our producers, Todd and Mike, who've rolled with these changes, some of them so incredibly last minute. Thank you guys for working so hard behind the scenes and juggling the changes to keep the Self-Care Show up and running as well. Guys, drop your hellos and good mornings into the comments. Let me know that you're here with us. And please understand that I am absolutely thanking each and every one of you guys for joining us all through all of this and for continuing to support the WLTKDB community. Did anybody else catch Lisa Silverman's show last night? I know I saw a handful of you guys out there, and that's another perfect example of how great it is that we all come together on so many different occasions to share information, to hear new people, and to share these experiences. Lisa was talking last night about the new moon, the equinox, and spring. And I am so super curious to hear how many of you guys are feeling the push to move forward with the new and feeling the crush of trying to separate what we're leaving behind as we start in spring and start this new portion of our journeys, because it all kind of gets a little cataclysmic in there, right? When we're not quite finished, or we don't feel like we're finished with the old things we're transitioning away from, and we're trying to get the future or what's coming in, the new things, to really start taking root so that they can sprout and show their beautiful little heads to us at the end of this 30-day cycle as things start coming to fruition. It's such an exciting time as Earth brings in a new cycle and the universal energies call for new beginnings. But with the beginnings also come the endings or the transitions, and they can feel so incredibly uncomfortable and even painful. But the clearing out of our purging process is necessary. And as we work toward starting new things in rebirth, we need to clear the debris in order to create space for the new. So Seriously, it was a genuine question. I'm curious to know what you're clearing out, what you're hoping to bring in. Pop your comments in the chat, and we'll move forward with some more of that fantastic information that you guys choose to share with us. And as we talk about sharing information, I have been blessed to bring Mary Jane Brigger into the show to join us so that we can all learn from her, gather some new ideas, and just all spend some time together in her beautiful and amazing energy. So Mary Jane provides service to spirit as a channeler, a psychic medium, and a healer through Celtic wise women feminine spirituality. Her work is rooted in the mystery teaching of the Celtic Mother Goddess, Priestess, Wise Woman, and the Magdalene mysteries. Mary Jane attunes and empowers women to merge and become the priestess and inner wise woman energy within their own lives. She is so fabulous and amazing, and I really am so very blessed that she's agreed to join us and share herself with us all this morning. Mary Jane, welcome to the Self-Care Show. Christina, good morning. Thank you for coming in as well today. Hi, Mary Jane.
Hello, good morning to you. So good to see you.
It's beautiful to see you. Thank you again for choosing to come and share yourself with us all this morning.
It's such a blessing. Thank you. Thank you.
So how's your world this morning?
My world is wonderful. We are now entering spring.
Yes.
And this is the time for us to bloom. We have been living in the triple goddess of the crone through the winter is when we go within.
Yeah.
But then the time comes for the seeds that were planted and fertilized within that time, within our sacred feminine of the crone, of the matriarch. Now it's time to become the maiden. Now it's time to experience those seeds as they bloom. And this is a beautiful time for the sacred feminine because we're literally rebirthing and giving birth to our new self. And for many, this may be difficult. They're like, well, I'm still shedding this and that, and I still feel like, that's okay. That's okay, because you know what? You have to do it a layer at a time, a story at a time. You can't do it all at once. And once you're ready to release a burden, a wound, a deep story within the body, then you create space for rebirth. And then it's time you're strong enough. You've now connected to the deepest part of your soul, which is you. And now you're ready to take on the next layer. And it actually gets easier. Last night I had to, I'm taking an intensive course to become a master teacher in mediumship and psychic and healing. And it was an essay question for us to go deep. And I went deep on a subject that would normally have triggered me. However, what I realized is writing this, and I use this as an example of what I just mentioned, I was strong enough. I looked at it. I saw the wisdom I learned from it. I mean, it was not something easy. It was something from childhood. And I saw how I had grown into it. But the best part of I saw that it led me to here. And so the importance of what we are experiencing right now within the, beautiful spring, the maidenhood of our femininity is we are truly now stepping into our authenticity. And that's what so many of us are saying. Who am I?
Right.
Who's my true self? And it's all within us, but we have spent lifetimes, centuries being told not to do that. And, the guilt and the shame put upon us because we're supposed to think of others. Of course we are. But we have to serve ourselves to take care of others because you burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't feel like you get anywhere. But the feminine is recognizing this. And this is an energy. It's not just in women. This is affecting men and women because we're feeling now. Our hearts are opening. And that's all the sacred feminine energy. And what I do with Celtic Wise Woman Spirituality is I take you deeper. Yes, I do have a Celtic heritage. I'm an American, but I have a strong Celtic heritage. And the reason that I love Celtic feminine spirituality is because the early old ways are all based on the mother energy and the sacred feminine. And that's where we're reclaiming the priestess in us. We're reclaiming it's more than power. We're reclaiming our compassion for each other, for ourselves. We're reclaiming the deep gratitude of the magnificent people that we are, the magnificent me. And we're finding to balance that peace, that calm within us. And most of all, what happens then? The beautiful seeds of unconditional love. And as our hearts open and we're allowed to feel again, yes, it's going to be a little tough because so many of us are brokenhearted. So many of us carry wounds. However, as we open the heart, it's like throwing open the doors, breathing in fresh air, because that allows the energy of the mother and the feminine now to come in and basically say, it's okay. I can kiss the boo-boo. The boo-boo may be hard, but the point is we're allowing that healing energy of the mother. And what's that doing? It's balancing.
Mm-hmm.
It's bringing the balance and harmony in. But as women, we've been told that that's wrong, that we're not to feel like we do. We're not to feel that emotion. And we've been told it's a weakness. And over the centuries, we've been told, I myself, we've had our upbringings through religion and cultural and that always diminished women. He always told that our gifts of what I like to say is the mystic, the oracle, the seer, and the healer in us, that was sinful and that was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the Celtic practices were hidden, were sent underground, and were told and ingrained in us to be so evil when they weren't. They were just beautiful expressions of the feminine energy as the healer, as the gatherer, as the nurturer, as the oracle, the seer. Oracle will be my mouth, and the seer. And we're reclaiming that again. And we're realizing that so much of who we are that we were always told was sinful or wrong, or the shame and guilt around it, are actually divine gifts, or sacred gifts from Creator. And I've been given the beautiful divine blessing of attuning to the Great Mother, who has poured forth so much of her sacred wisdom, that you begin to see the beauty and symbolism of things that are considered evil or shameful or made fun of. And when you realize that the symbol and sacredness of these many practices within the Celtic tradition, the old ways of the wise woman, you just realize how much beauty we've been missing out on. And then what I am really finding is as women are reclaiming the wise woman, how much they are now standing in their own power. And I call it the inner wise woman. We all have a wise woman within us. And she's just waiting for us. And who is this wise woman? She's everything you have been. She's all your experiences. She's all your love. She's all your wounds. She's everything that makes up you. And that's a pretty magnificent person. And this is what we're reclaiming. And I was writing something the other day. I said, I reclaim me, myself, and me. And that is something that the Great Mother, the Divine Mother, has shown me. She said, when you go within, hold compassion in your heart. And then put a symbol of you or a picture of you over that compassion. And then ask me to come in. And I will merge with you. And I will attune my energy to you. And as our energies merge, you will begin to feel the love that I feel for you. And within that merging and that attuning, you awaken to the true magnificence of you and realize that you are one with what is divine. And as you hold that and you bring and hold her in your heart, that takes root and grows. And then from a scientific standpoint, travels to the brain.
Right.
To start to replace all those wounds and energy with the sacred power that you are now becoming. And I call that a capital B and a capital E.
I saw that.
And that's what we're about right now. The energy is about becoming that magnificent, beautiful, powerful woman you came here to be. And to do that, we have to reclaim what was taken from us over all these years. And we are.
Yeah.
But to take it and see it as sacred. I do cauldron work.
Yes.
Ooh, scary. And I love it. Oh my God. I love it. Why? What is the symbol in the cauldron? Okay, so let's get our Disney characters out. Get our... No. That was ways to make us step away from our feminine gifts. Because the symbolism of the cauldron is the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the chalice, the Holy Grail. It's a cup.
Yep.
It's a womb. And within the cauldron, within the cauldron, it is what? Well, it's empty. It's a void. And initially, so is the womb. Until we plant. Until we add the seed. So if we see that resemblance, we also cook in the cauldron, right?
Yeah.
So we need to put in the ingredients, the recipe. So what is my intention? What do I want to create within this cauldron? What within this womb? Who am I? How do I know who I will be? Show me. And as we do, that begins to form. So I like smoke in there. I put a little disc in there, charcoal,
mm-hmm.
and I'll put an incense in. Most of the time, a lot of times it's different things. Frankincense, myrrh. It can be anything. I put in roses a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's a feminine symbol, the mystic rose. And as I light it, it creates a smoke. So now I've got the ingredients going. We're cooking. And then I have a beautiful crooked spoon that I put in it because there I'm stirring it up. And it's crooked because I don't want it to go in one direction. I want that smoke. I want that intention to grow and become something more than I've ever have been. And why I came here. Now as you do, the smoke rises. Okay, and that's called the Awen, A-W-E-N. And that means it's embossed in Irish and Awen is Celtic. But now you have created this beautiful smoke, the reality that is now going out into the universe, your intention. Then I use a little broom. I got one in the back here. And I bless myself with it, like you might use a feather, which you can use too. And I spread it around. And then I sit and I become that intention. This is smoke ritual using. That's used in many cultures, even the Catholic Church. And within that is where I become that intention. No one has to give that to me. I am that power. So we have the ability to create. And that's a symbolism of creating an intention that we can use as a whole. You can do it with anything. I bought a bunch of little bowls at the dollar store. And I use those. It's just a symbol of watching how you can birth yourself with the holy intention. And so there's many beautiful ceremonies and rituals of the goddess energy, of the priestess. And as you reclaim that, you begin to step into your own authenticity. You become aware that we're all different. We're all going to step into that differently. But it gives you the courage. And you realize my favorite word anymore is I'm safe. I'm safe to be the priestess. I'm safe to be me. I'm safe. If my persecution days are over, I spent lifetimes doing that. I spent the last few years helping women to take the noose off the neck and soothe the burns that we suffered, myself included. And now it's time to shine. We are divine light, and this is the time of the Great Mother, and she's truly stepping in to hold us, and that's where we always spring. We're being birthed again. But we still have many things that are difficult. We can get all flowery here and everything, absolutely. But the bottom line is how do I get there?
Yeah.
And I just say one step at a time. Today I pulled a card from my animal deck that I love, and it was turtle. And the message was slow and steady.
Yeah.
And sometimes we try to rush in, and we need to take it slow and steady because we need to be aware that we work in divine timing. And as we work in divine timing, we're working with spirit. We're working with our intention. Things that need to happen for you may need to be worked out in other areas. And when we go slow and steady, we work from the heart. And let me tell you something, with the intention of becoming that magnificent woman you were born to be, time speeds up. It'll come faster than you think. It's not the old days of years upon years. The only thing that's going to hold you up is you. But it speeds up because we're in this time of ascension. We're in this time of the balancing the feminine with the masculine. This is the balancing time. And because of this, as it's merging, consciousness raises.
Beautiful.
So, and then time happens faster because things are happening faster now. And those wounds will heal faster. Or you'll neutralize them. Sometimes it's very hard to get rid of very difficult memories. As the one I was writing about last night. However, I've neutralized it. I can see it. I know what happened. I don't understand everything that happened around it, but I've neutralized the energy around it. That now I can step back and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the wisdom and the healing I can take from this? Mm-hmm. So I've neutralized the fear. I've neutralized the terror. That's all gone. But I can now look at it and say, it wasn't right, but how can I help someone else now who's experiencing that? Because we walk in our own steps will help us to help somebody else.
I've got so much to say in response, as a result to, in addition to, things to tease out of the amazing information that you've just laid out at our feet.
Okay.
But none of it really seems to be perfectly elegant or appropriate right at this moment. Because it's delivery, the way you speak, the information you bring forth is so clear and so eloquent. But yet at the same time, you leave room for each one of us who are here with you today to come to understandings of the things that you've brought to our attention or gently brought us back to remembering. So well done and so perfectly placed. It's amazing. Thank you so very much. Mary from Wisconsin is saying hello to you. And she says, this woman is absolutely amazing. So much love from my heart to hers.
Sending to you.
Mary, it's been a while since I've seen you on the show. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing how you were feeling as we were all listening and absorbing and feeling the words that Mary Jane was sharing with us and the pieces of herself that she was sharing with us as well. She's artful in her presentation, without doubt.
Well, I come with help. The great mother is using me also.
I was just going to say, I'm just going to sit back and let you roll, because I feel like a lot of this is just channeled information that you're choosing to share, that you've been asked or nudged to share with us. And I have so much appreciation for everything you've just shared with us, and for you, again, choosing to be here with us today.
Thank you.
Mary says her new intention is to visit your beautiful Healing Cottage.
Oh, you love it. It's settled here in the woods. I have all the pictures on my website.
You do.
And you can visit there, but it's called the Healing Cottage, Mary, and my clients named it when I first moved out here. And it's a little white cottage and one room. And thank God, yes, I do have a bathroom. Can't do healing work without the bathroom, but it's but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I've been holding retreats. I have private retreats as well as group, and readings. I've held retreats out here, women's empowerment circles, and last year before the Christmas came, and then I'll be starting this year, we've been holding Celtic Wise Women's Seances, which are actually channeling circles of the Great Mother. So we're getting ready to have another one of those on April 29th.
Wow.
Got to get the marketing up. I'm just coming out of my own awakening and rebirth from this winter. And be careful what you ask for.
Right. You don't know how it's going to be delivered.
Yet I knew it would be a kicker. Because what I asked for was to experience spirit in a deeper and more profound way. And the only way that can be is that I had to have some things literally burned out of me because I was running a high fever, and a physical purification from the whole experience. And as it did, I saw the deeper stories that had to come up from my body. Yeah. And they were like literally shook loose from me, from shaking, from chills and that. But I knew the whole time what was happening. Because okay, then I can flow with this. And I felt the spirits with me. I started to leave twice actually. And I was guided back because what happened is I went septic. Oh. And so from this, you just start to go, and I feel like, nah, let's talk, come back. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And my younger sister pulled in all the family on the other side, and they came, and I felt their energy as I was starting to float away. They're like, come back. It was very beautiful. But as it happened, I realized it was spirit, and I never felt afraid. And I knew what was happening. So I flowed with it, and I said, I'm open to receive what I asked for. And so now that has passed, it's a reintegration process. It's a gradual integration. And yes, my intention was answered. Yeah. And it will become even more beautiful. So using that example, I say this to all of you who are suffering. You are. It hurts. And so many women, they're my women friends, but there's men too, have had terrible suffering, physical ailments, returns of diseases they thought were gone. Mm-hmm. We're all going through some tough relationships, maybe needing to be released.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and you have to bless it. And what I would say to you is as this turmoil comes in your life, we have a choice. Will this help me? Is this guiding me to step into more powerful spirit? Will this bring me in to being closer to the spirit because it's helping me to release the wounds, the stories, the memories? And what the calling is right now, when we say to step into our authenticity, the authenticity is actually spirit saying, come back home to me.
Mm.
Doesn't mean we transition. Symbolically it may be, but it's called come back to your heart. Come back to who you are. And it's right here. You don't need grand ceremonies. You don't need to go to a workshop. You don't need to jump up and down through circles. You don't. All you have to do is say, I'm ready. And I'm scared. And I don't know what you're going to bring me, but I just know it's like the Fool and the tarot card. When you see the Fool, that first card of the major arcana, right? And as the Fool is stepping over the cliff, it's got a smile on his face, not knowing where he's going. And it's like, free fall. And that's what it's like. And it's scary. It's the unknown. And I was asked recently, why is it so difficult sometimes to surrender into spirit? Why is it so difficult to trust it? I said, because it's the unknown.
Yeah.
You're stepping into something that you weren't really taught. And because what you were told was wrong, to care about yourself, yourself is spirit. You're a spiritual being, right? This is just a divine temple that we keep it in. But you're a spirit. And so we're stepping back. And it's more than connection. We are forming sacred relationship.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you prefer a relationship with your spirit? With whoever you call your creator or source, your guides? Isn't it nicer to know that you have a relationship that you foster every day, that just by saying, good morning, let's go, or good night, keep it quiet around me, which is what I say. And yeah, and it becomes that friendship, it becomes that relationship where I know no matter what I'm stepping into, they've got my back. Or like I say, she's got my back. But I also know the Divine Mother is me. I'm not going to hell or sinning when I say I am divine. And that's what we've been raised with. That's what we've been told. Mm-hmm. Because the divine is so loving. The Divine Mother is so loving and is unconditional love. And what she says and what Celtic traditions say, the indigenous traditions will tell you, you find it here. And after you find it here, you will see it in your environment. You will experience it in your environment. You might see a bird one day in your tree tweeting, but the next day after you surrender and trust to your spirit, but that bird's different in the tree this time. Now you see the divinity and sacredness of that little bird. You hear the voice. That's not a tweet. It's a beautiful song from the mother saying, I love you. You'll see a vibrancy in those feathers you never saw before. Mm-hmm. You get new eyes. You get, I still need these. But my inner eye now. And that's what happens as we step into it. When we recognize that inner wise woman. And so as you have this sacred relationship, your communication is clear. You understand it. And you're no longer afraid. Did I get it right or wrong? No. Because when you work from the heart, you work from truth.
so many powerful statements and concepts. You have just so beautifully, good morning, Courtney. You've just so beautifully laid at our feet. Mary Jane, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I do have a couple of things I want to tease out a little bit, but we're going to take a super quick station break.
Okay.
I'm going to let all of our listeners and viewers take a moment to reflect on the information you've just shared.
Okay. Sounds
Give
great.
yourselves a second to feel through the information and the energy that Mary Jane just brought forward for us. And we will be right back after this quick station break.
Looking for a holistic solution? Look no further than LimestreetWellness.com. Lime Street Wellness is a full-service Reiki therapy center offering in-person and distant Reiki sessions. Additionally, Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping clients co-create healthier outcomes with hypnosis, QHHT, and intuitive advice. Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping all that are seeking to co-create better health, peace of mind, and greater freedom. Reiki Master Kevin Mackey uses energy medicine, hypnosis, mindfulness, and intuitive guidance to assist in uncovering, understanding, and removing any blocks or energy cords or mental mindsets that may be intruding and causing needless suffering. Visit Lime Street Wellness today at LimestreetWellness.com. That's LimestreetWellness.com.
And we are back. Thank you, everyone, for being with us here this morning at the Self-Care Show. I am Deidre Sanford, and you are on WLTKBB. Our guest today is Mary Jane Brigger. And those of you who are just joining us, wow, she has just blown us all away with her beautiful, loving energy and some amazing messages, not just from information she wanted to share with us today, but I have a feeling, Mary Jane, more than once you slipped into a little bit of channeling there and shared that with us as well.
Oh, yes.
I heard that change in your voice, but I know that voice.
Yes.
About spring and rebirth and transition and bringing ourselves back to our own relationships with spirit and allowing ourselves to heal and to grow and so much more. Guys, there's no way that I could reiterate a third of the information Mary Jane has shared with us. I'm going to need to go back to watch this replay just to make sure I understood and captured so much of what she just said. Courtney, yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. You got here just in time for our station break, but I'm happy that you're here with us, cool people, as you have said. Before we get too much further off into this, I know, Mary Jane, you had talked about a retreat that you're planning for the end of April. You mentioned you need to finish your marketing, and Mary from Wisconsin is asking for emails about the retreat. I think it's appropriate, correct me if I'm wrong, to refer you back to Mary Jane's website for information as it comes available.
Yeah, this is currently all in the making because I'm just getting back to work after a 2-month sick leave, more or less to say. I had some surgery and got ill. And I'm in the process. What's on the 29th is actually an afternoon of spirit channeling of the Great Mother and helping those with personal messages and then to also help us to learn how we can form that relationship with the Great Mother. So the retreats right now are in the process of being planned. However, you can schedule a private day with me. Right now I'm looking at, some people like to come in small groups. I can do up to 2 or 3 in a small group because it's very intense. It's very intense. It's quite beautiful. So right now you can schedule a private or small group retreat with me anywhere from a half day to a full day. That is on my website, but I would suggest emailing me and get more details. So because I will customize it for you. And so you can have that day, which a lot of people will do that. They like coming out for the private sessions. They're about 3 hours because we do more than just the message and I send you home. Whatever the Great Mother wants to do, or the elementals want to play with, or I don't know.
Yes. Go to the Healing Cottage, work with Mary Jane, play with the elementals, hear your personal message integrated.
Yeah.
Work with that. It's amazing. Todd has been popping your website information into the chat. He's popped it up in the bottom of the screen, and he has also provided your email address for everyone as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to filter through, because you've made reference to this more than once. I am reminded, you hit home for me on so many levels, and I know our listeners and our viewers have felt the same way. I was fortunate enough about 10 years ago to visit Stromness and be at the Standing Stones and attend a ritual there in which Ostara, perfect timing. We talked about in that ritual and within our group, reintegrating masculine, feminine, and learning to acknowledge that we need to have that balance within us. You've mentioned more than once, and men too. And I know most of our conversation here has been geared toward the feminine, but I think what you were referring to when you said and men too is we need not just for women to bring back in and own and work within and bring out their feminine, but our men in our society have absolutely pretty much not been encouraged to share, incorporate, bring in, or acknowledge very much of their feminine.
Because men are told not to feel. They're told this is a weakness. And we've been told that as women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're told not to feel and to work in the energy of the doing, the organizing. And we need that energy within ourselves. You know, the feminine speaks to us, our creative ideas, the wisdom, what we receive from spirit. But how do we need to put that into action?
Yeah.
How do we get that into the world? So then that's when the masculine side comes in. And when it's balanced, it's a beautiful way of expressing yourself, your life, what we need to do in the world. But neither one can work without the other. You know, if we only work on the feminine side where we're speaking of feelings and emotion, creativity, we don't get anything done.
Right.
We're always in the woo-woo world. It's really a lot of fun. But you
can't live there.
We have to express it. It has to be expressed. And so we express it through, we move in for the masculine to take this and receive it and organize it, put it into words and put it into the world. So we need that balance. So the doing needs the feeling and the wisdom of the feminine and the feminine of the wisdom of feminine, but we need them to be able to express it. And you cannot live in one world and it's not going to affect you. If I completely live in my own heart and thought, but I don't express it,
right.
At some point, it's not going to serve you well.
Right.
And if I only live in the doing world without the heart and the feeling, it's going to catch up with me. It's not going to serve me well. That's why really when it comes down to it, it's not about either or. It's about one. And so when we talk about balancing and harmonizing our energies, it is truly about bringing us back to the one. Because the Great Mother doesn't say, oh, it's just all about me. She acknowledges, she is, that's right, it's all about us. But what she's acknowledging is, I have a partner. I have a relationship. And we are one. And we each have a role that we do, you know. We give and we receive. There's your two energies. So this is where one of the things that I have done over the years is that they've always said, well, why aren't you working with men? And I said, well, the women have to wake up. We've always worked with men. Everything is toned into a male
right.
noun. But I said, How are we going to recognize the feminine in us if I don't say or introduce, what about her? What about she? What about that inner wise woman? And so as they've been bringing this up and recognizing the power of their femininity, now it's easier to put this into balance. And all it was to feel and take the shame and guilt away from, well, so often, so many of us, we're psychic, we're mediums, we're trans channelers. A few years ago, you still couldn't say that without, and you still get the skeptics, but you know what? I'm going to tell you something. The more you step into this work, the more authentic you are with it, the more you form that relationship with your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many people around who are skeptics who are going to tear you down.
That's funny.
You bring your own community around you.
You truly do.
And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we are right now. We're bringing our communities together of who we are. And what happens there? Love. And what happens with love? You raise the vibration of the world. I was telling a dear friend of mine yesterday who called, and she's just an amazing healer, amazing Reiki healer. And she holds small Reiki shares at her farm every week. And she said, oh, just my little group. I said, just your little group? I said, number one, you just get up every day and the world shakes with joy because you're so powerful. And then you have these 10 other Reiki practitioners or new ones coming in. I said, that much vibration and energy going out in the world. I said, someday you'll know how much that uplifted consciousness. So never say I don't do enough. Just be who you are.
Yeah.
Be that smile. You know, be that kind word. Maybe before judging, catch yourself and say, oh, I do dumb stuff like that. You know,
or wait, I forgot who I am. Really am there for a second. Let me go
it's
back
like,
to myself.
oh shit, I did that. You know, it does. And when you ask within spirit, you know, I for me, I call upon the mother. I go, any situation I come into, help me to see through your eyes. And it's just that simple. And then I open my heart. Do I always make it all the way? No.
Oh.
I'll be honest with you. I will always be a work in progress. And I told my girlfriend the other day, a lot has changed in transition, but I won't use the word I use. But I said, I'm still the jerk I always am. But it's meaning that I'm still here in this human body because I'm still experiencing what I came here to experience.
Yeah.
So, but it's just so simple as just to ask and then allow to receive.
There you go.
And I say accept. You can receive the message, but you don't always accept it. And the hardest thing we can hear from spirit is that, and I've seen this so often with clients, I said, I'll channel to them and I said, I love you so much, right over their heads. Because we're so conditioned to dislike ourselves. We're more conditioned to run to something horrible and be interested than to run to something beautiful and come back and share that. See, so that's out of balance. And this is what the rise of the feminine, this is feeling. Now we're starting to look for the good in things. But first you have to find the good in yourself.
There is that. And isn't that interesting? Because as you've pointed out, and most of us already kind of understand, we have been, as individuals, male, female, doesn't matter, but as individuals, we've all been in so many different situations in which we've been diminished, belittled, had to play small to feel safe. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of work to undo that programming, so to speak, or what we've learned or brought away from those experiences. And it also speaks again to, you have to go through the experience and have the emotions, but find the lesson and walk forward into the rest of your life, into your next day or the next hour, trying to, maybe not the next hour because you need to have the experience and marinate it in it to get out of it, but walk forward with the lesson. You had the injury, acknowledge it. It's true, it's valid, it was there. But what can I learn from this? What can I carry forward?
So one thing we can do is that, yes, we're here to learn, But I have found so often when I have worked one-on-one, as I taught, if I use lessons, everybody feels punished. So what I say is, what is the wisdom?
I like that.
And you know what? You knew that wisdom. You're just remembering it now. You might in this life be experiencing it and maybe learning to use it a different way. What we're here for this life now, we may have done, 10 lifetimes ago. Well, guess what? That was culture then, that worked. But now we're bringing that forward now to express it in a different way. And yes, it is. But what is the wisdom that I've pulled from this? What am I remembering from deep within, deep in that subconscious? We live more in the conscious state, which is fine. But where the real, as you would know here with your work too, Deirdre, it's beneath. It's in the subconscious where all that is we're shaking up now. We can make all kinds of promises to ourselves, not in the consciousness, right here. But where the real difference is when we go down to that profound deepness. And so that's where we say, help me to remember the wisdom. Show me the wisdom so that I may learn once again.
I love that.
So that I step into the power of my spirit. Because it's not just you here. There's versions of you.
Yeah.
In many dimensions. I've heard up to 11 different versions exist in different planes in a parallel universe.
Right.
And there's other versions of you too. Maybe I want to know the one who's doing what my intention is. Maybe they're tapping into me. It doesn't matter. Just know that you are a divine spirit who agreed and chose to come back in this lifetime. And we are very honored in spirit for doing this. Because a lot of them said, nope, not for me. Yeah. But we will be here to support you. And what you're going to do this time is we're going to put a little code and tune you into time to let you know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And now we can guide you through this lifetime that we were not able to do before. So we're here at a very magnificent time. And the veil is only as thin as you want it to be.
Yay.
And so as more and more of us are stepping into our psychic and mediumship gifts, embrace it. Don't worry about the next person. Don't worry. This is spirit saying, hello, I'm ready to communicate with you. Oh, did I get your attention? Come back home. You do know me. Let's reform that relationship with you. And as you do that, you can always trust what comes through. Again, you see it differently.
See it differently, feel it differently, hear it differently. I love it.
And we can, and it is a choice. We can be influenced by what's going on around us. You can listen to the media and different things. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not good.
No.
But why do you want that pumped into you? Because you can make a difference by saying, I'm setting the intention to bring healing to this area. I'm sending a blessing to this person who is not kind and causing, but I will say, Holy Spirit, I ask you to bless this situation to serve the highest good. Because it's up to spirit how they deal with that.
Right.
We're not on that journey, but we can make the shift to the higher consciousness by sending that vibration of spirit, please ask your help on this situation. You literally can move mountains. Literally can move mountains by knowing you have the power and that relationship with your spirit to move, to shift things to a higher level of consciousness, of love. This has no politics to it. This has no religious dogma to it. This is a state of being with spirit. And this is where we make the difference. This is where the shift is happening. Not going to, is happening, and it's happening within us. Many of us are experiencing a lot of physical issues.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable, but we're integrating. You are now raising your body vibration to a higher level because you're becoming more spirit. Anytime I go to a medical doctor, which isn't very often, I don't anymore, they can't find anything wrong with me. I literally am off their charts. They just said that to me. We can never figure out, because technically there's nothing wrong with you. And they're right. I am vibrating, and so is everybody else. We're vibrating at a different level. A little uncomfortable getting there because we're a very dense body still. But we're actually meant, the more that we connect with the heart, the more that we feel for ourselves, which then we're able to feel for others, say as compassion, our bodies become lighter, and I mean light beings. And you will feel that in time. There's sometimes, myself and others have said so too, we literally can feel that lightness. You know, like, oh good, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. No, it's not about that. Nice. But I mean, it literally is you. Some people require less food.
Yeah.
Require more water, but require less food. You'll notice a shift around you. Your needs become different because they're not feeding a denser existence. And so that's why we need to pay attention to what we put into our bodies, because our tastes are changing. So what I would say to your viewers is, it's as you're stepping into the love of your light being, as that relationship with your spirit grows stronger and you become together as one, your body is also adjusting to that.
Yeah.
So as we become more in spirit, our needs will change, but we have to give our bodies time to adjust to it. And so what I have done is I just say, I ask you to attune my body to your energy, but I ask you to do it in a way that will be balanced and harmonious.
Oh, I like that phrasing. Balanced and harmonious.
First did it, I didn't do it, and it was not fun. You want to tune up? When should I turn off? Well, she's not saying turn off. And so I learned to say, now, because I literally used to get up for meditation and fall over on the ground. Messed up all day. And I said, oh, you want me to say yeah, okay. So what I say is to what my body can balance and be in harmony with.
Yeah.
And that has made it easier. But again, you're vibrating in a much higher existence. And you know what? Spirit's just energy. So if you want to experience spirit, that's what we become.
Beautiful.
And
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your phrase.
No.
I am so very grateful and appreciative of the time that you've shared with us this morning.
Thank you so much.
The information, the communication. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
And everyone is popping in their comments in here, thanking you, talking about how amazingly wonderful you are and how appreciative they are as well of the time that you've spent with us and the information you've shared today as well.
Thank you.
Guys, I know there was a question, Mary from Wisconsin, that you had popped in here. I'm so sorry that we didn't have an opportunity to drill specifically down into that question. Perhaps you'll be kind enough to come and join us another time in the near future. So
and Mary can email me with that.
Yes, I was going to say that as well, but I wasn't sure. So thank you very much for offering that. I don't know if you heard that, Mary. She said, email her, ask her the question. You can reach her by email at mjb@maryjanebrigger.com. And of course, her website, maryjanebrigger.com.
And I would also encourage them to get a reading. I'm doing.
Yeah, oh my gosh. There is nothing like a channeled reading from Mary Jane.
Yes. And I do have a YouTube channel. We got it up.
Yep.
Adding content. There's a few videos on it, but I would say stay tuned, or you can join me at Facebook at my private community at Mary Jane Brigger, Celtic Wise Woman Spirituality. Yes, thank you.
And there it is, right in the window. Pop
right up
for us.
Yes. Oh, Deidre, thank you so much.
Oh,
And the mother, thank you so much. She always is grateful for the times that she has a voice to speak to her children and to her loved ones.
Thank you again so very much. Have a fantastic day. I'll check in with you in just a minute or two backstage. Stick around for just a minute, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will do. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you for joining us for what feels like an inaugural show. I just kind of feel like everything started all fresh all over again, right in tune with spring and the equinox and this new moon. Kelly Brickle will be back this afternoon at 3:00. Stick around. She's got a great show coming up for you. So many amazing shows here at WLTKDB. You know, Diette's on mornings at 9 a.m. with Schooled Through Spirit. We've got Tuesday nights with Diette, and hopefully Mike will be back next week. Kelly Brickle's got 2 shows, Wednesdays, Fridays, Thursday morning, 9 o'clock. We got Chat with Charlie, so many other amazing things. I also mentioned Lisa Silverman's show, which was on last night. She'll be back again next week. I'm hoping you guys all have a blessed and wonderful week moving forward. We'll be back next week with the Self-Care Show right here on WLTKDB.com.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.